And my mic is actually unmuted. You can also watch it on Twitch, same name, or Twitter, same name. But normally what happens for you, thank you for the follows on here too, very, very much so. Thank you for those. I don't know what I was going to say. Oh yeah, I drink. And yeah, so that the more I drink, the more unhinged that I get. So a couple things I will say before I do jump fully over there. Again, I know dating with the challenge. It should be showing live now. I've got a bunch of people in the chat and they can see me, so y'all should be seeing it. I haven't had a beer yet, Michael. I'm going to. I'm amazed that you're still up because it's like 3 a.m. where you are. You might have to go back to my profile. I should say that I'm live. I've got 20 people currently over on 70 people on the YouTube side right now. Yes, you can comment on YouTube. Actually, you can type comments and you don't have a limit on characters. Doug, I need to do that. Now that you're doing, I haven't gone back on and looked, but yeah. Yes, you can comment on YouTube. You can actually comment on Twitch, and I believe you can comment on Twitter too. I know you can on Twitch. But it's just a much better platform for this, and I'm trying to grow it because YouTube seems to actually give a shit about their creators. But I will say this as well, and by the way, for those of y'all who want to jump over YouTube for this conversation, which I think you're going to want to, and maybe I can get my wife to come in here with me if I'm lucky. It's Justin on TikTok, on YouTube. For people who like these shirts, this is the affiliate program that I'm doing here for those of y'all who want to see that real quick. If you go to Boardwalk, BORED, Walk Tees, you can also get to the link from my link tree in my bio and use code Justin. You will get a discount and I will get a little something. So. Oh, Erica, thank you. I didn't even know if you could do that. Thank you. You didn't have to do that. I appreciate it. So I'm going to, it's live. I've got 154 people in there. I would just maybe refresh. Because again, there's a lot that I'm going to say here that I can't say on TikTok. I would refresh. It's Justin on TikTok is my YouTube name. So I will leave this on for a few more minutes. Hey, Alyssa, since I saw you're in here, I am going to the YouTube section for this. Since you don't want to come on YouTube as a guest in that manner, would you like to come in here with me? So if you want to. You have to look into the live tab on YouTube. We're getting started here in a second. Let me go get the beer. That'll give you guys a few more seconds, and then we will get this party started. The only thing I wish that I could do with YouTube that I can't, but I can do on TikTok, is I could put on a record and play it. But on YouTube, you get a copyright deal. We're going to go with this. This is because of Sir Michael, my wonderful follower, and I would say friend Michael in England, who we were talking about loggers earlier today. Yes, we're moving to YouTube. I'm already on there. We got 190 people in there. This is what we're doing today. Okay. Another South Carolina beer in honor of us doing the Murdoch trials. And let's get going. Okay. If you type my name, it'll let you hit live. Yes. I'm going to go ahead and head over there. We will see you guys there. And I'm going to start this conversation in just a couple minutes talking about this video. I'll see you guys there. Okay. All right, guys, it's time to get this party started. Let me do a couple quick things, housekeeping items for me, and we are going to get this started. And I'll show y'all too. I have a special guest with me. I'm trying to tap a screen. I'm not even drinking yet. This is my special guest tonight. Pardon this being up. That's my special guest, so he's not annoying. Yay, Celeste, you made it. Now I know your name. I like the name Celeste. It reminds me of Cruel Intentions. So, I'll see if she wants to come. Hold on a second. Let me see if I can do this. Hold on. I'm trying to convince Alyssa now to come. Let's see if she comes. All right. So while I wait to see what Alyssa decides that she wants to do, Susan, let's start with what you're saying. Kim talks really fast. Okay. So, and Michael, I trust Olivia too. By the way, Michael, it is a tropical lager. Baxter's not drunk. He's just happy to be here. Yes, I know we need to listen to this conversation. So hopefully she comes. And if it does, it'll hopefully let me know that she's here. So let's talk about Kim. So first of all, there's been a lot of hate on Olivia. She said on this video, this is why she's kind of been, unsure if she's going to come on or not. I think she's kind of feeling down because people have really been kind of coming at her. Lauren, so I just streamed a little bit of a video from Chronicles of Olivia, my friend Olivia. I would encourage anybody who wants to finish that video or see it. You guys are all saying stuff that I definitely want to talk about. But basically she's saying a lot of stuff that happened at this. I have not heard about that, Bunny Sue. I'm going to try to stay on topic for a second here. Is there a way for me? I don't think there's a way for me to slow down the chat. I can just scroll. But Olivia talked to this woman. She was not the person who initially put this out. Okay. This person went on something else. And then, I'm going to do this real quick. I don't know if I can, if she comes on maybe. And just spoke to the woman. I personally think that there is some little tidbit of truth in what the woman said. And the only part of that that I believe is kind of true is the people standing around earlier in the morning, earlier than everything else. Yeah, the turkey guys, thank you. She's also been all over Reddit and the Facebook group. But that's obviously everything. When this case was brand new, that is what we all heard. But I kind of feel, and especially if you go watch the whole thing and get into it, I feel like she has taken every single rumor that's out there and condensed it into this phone call. And the part where I struggle with on it, and again, Olivia put it up there because the woman seems, I don't know, she's been on a lot of places. She seems very confident in what she's saying. And Olivia, again, she's not agreeing with her or not agreeing with her in the video. She's literally just sharing the information. Now, I think, and I told Olivia this too, I think that this particular situation, and I want this particular situation is going to end up with this Kim woman getting a cease and desist from the state of Idaho. I wish Alyssa's here. Yay. Hey, yay. You're here. So because you were deep diving her while we were doing this. Everybody, my beautiful wife, you were deep diving her while we were watching that. Did we confirm if her kids actually go to WSU?
I wouldn't call it confirmed. It sounds like from her podcast call that it was like they went to WSU and were like acquaintances. So everything that they were getting sounds like very much secondhand information.
Yeah. Are we wearing matching tees? Somebody asked.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, we are. I've ordered her one too. Again, if y'all want these amazing shirts, Boardwalk, and use my code, and then I get more money to buy more shirts, is basically what that turns into. Because that's all I spend it on. So we were talking about a lot of stuff, and I started talking about this, and I know you heard some of it. Why don't I just let you take it and give what you thought? Because you listened even more closely to me because I was talking with Olivia while the thing was on, and so whatever. But you were going like off on some of what was being said.
Let me
Doug
say.
wants to know if you can see his comments, by the way.
Yeah, it's hard for me to. It's hard. So I have to see comments. I have to click on the chat, and then I can't see us anymore, and then go to comments. It's not easy. So if I don't respond to your comments, just
I can ask for you.
It's not easy to get to them and still like be in here. So I don't like this, by the way. TikTok is way better in my opinion. Sorry.
Well, for dual kind of, but for chat and discussion, throwing things up, this is way better.
Yeah. Okay, so what do you want me to talk about?
Well, let's go with the questions. So first on here, somebody said something, and I will scroll back up. So that her kids are friends of the victims. They were what kind of acquaintances? Is that what we determined?
That's my understanding, like friends of friends, like heard through the grapevine. So that already right there is
Loses
kind of,
credibility.
because it's like the telephone game, Like you're going to hear this information after it already went through a couple of other sources. So it's going to get diluted.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
What I had said right before you came on, and I didn't know if you heard me say this because of everything that was going on, but I basically said that what she seemed to do, especially because I only played a portion of the video for them, and I said go watch it on Chronicles of Olivia, and we watched the end, so we know that basically she took every rumor that we've seen, and she's turned it into this like
Yeah.
1 hour long phone call.
It's crazy.
But what Alyssa had said, and I'll let her go off this, when we were talking about this video, she was like, this interview goes against everything that I stand for. Meaning that like this woman, the things that she's saying, she's implicating the roommates. She's implicating the victims, basically saying that people are being killed for weed and Molly. Like, come on, that is just fucking bullshit, right? Like, first of all, weed is legal 10 minutes down the road in Washington for recreation. You don't have to go like deal hardcore weed, whatever. And Molly's, it's a party drug. People aren't killing you over Molly.
Mm-mm.
Now, that one might have been on meth.
Yeah, she was the one who sounded like she was either on too many medications or off of them because she's all over the place. Funny enough, she sounds exactly like a TikTok creator. And I had to go find this creator and let Justin hear. And I was like, doesn't that sound just like her? It's not her, but it's just so funny. It's this girl who always pretends to be Karen's in like different situations, and she's got short blonde hair. I'm trying to remember her username. I think it might be Teresa something, but she sounds exactly like her. I don't know if you guys know who I'm talking about. I hope somebody does. But yeah, it very much gives conspiracy theory. And I don't know, hopefully I don't make any of your followers upset, but it very much gives like the Trump is still president and this is why.
No,
Like,
I think that's a fine thing to say because
like
that's not political. It's just
no, because
yeah.
out there who very much believe that, and they have all of these reasons why. So I'm not trying to be political, but it's like that same train of thought. Like, well, the truth is that this Brian, the alleged truth is that this Brian Koberger did this heinous crime. But there's so many people who won't believe the truth that they come up with their alternate realities. And I think this lady might be really deep in hers. And I don't think we know everything about the case yet. I think
We
there's
100% don't. We know this much of it.
yeah, I think there's going to be some pretty big bombshells that come out, but I don't think it's going to be it was a trap house and the fraternity was involved and there were 3 people and Dylan watched it all. I think that's one of the things she says.
There's a lot of accusations and implications that she seems to be throwing around, which again is problematic because you're doing that against people who can't defend themselves. And the thing about it too is that we've seen enough footage that's like the police coming or talking. Even the one with Kaylee in the video. Every time you see them, they might be tired, but they're put together. The worst. I mean, even the boys that answered the door on that one when they had to wait there for like 20 minutes and they were dumping the beer out. So they might have seemed a little inebriated, but they weren't methed out. Like, look, we live in Tennessee. We've seen methed out. None of these people are selling like hardcore drugs. And Brian was not a drug dealer because and I've said this before, you're not going to show up, be in a place for 2 months and set up this like network to drug deal literally on the other side of the country.
And I mean, if this were a drug house, they would have had a lot more altercations with the police other than noise complaints. And I feel like people think that college is some like secret society,
Well, that's
Greek,
Greek row. That's what they think. But yeah.
like drugged and like orgies or something. I don't know. It's not like that, you know? I'm sure that there are people who are doing, some of those things, but I just in my entire college career, I've never saw anybody do meth. Like I never saw you're not in higher education if you're
You're high and stoned. I mean, you saw weed.
you saw
You
weed
saw Molly.
and ecstasy, but I mean
Well,
outside
yeah, it wasn't called Molly back then, or at least for
yeah,
us.
called ecstasy back then, but like in fraternities, sororities aren't like secrets like Illuminati type things. They're just a bunch
Yes,
of
we're
kids.
we're both college graduates. Alyssa has a master's, and I was actually in a fraternity. So I can also tell you too, the fraternities aren't some secret society either. What I was telling Olivia on the phone, I told her the same thing too. And I didn't stay in the fraternity very long. I was in it for like a year, and then I was like, this just isn't for me. But the fraternities are there to drink, party, and accost women. That is what they do. At least they did back in the early 2000s. But yeah, I went to school. And I went to school. The first college I went to that I had a very good time at, I went to for 4 years. And it was a very small town, like Moscow, same type of population. Actually, it might even be smaller, the population of Statesboro. I don't know, but so yeah, it's people are making this out to be like, oh my god, the fraternities are involved. No, they're not. Fraternity guys are typically a bunch of douchebag guys who are just around to party. That's what it was. Well, meth wasn't popular 10 years ago, but meth is also not a drug that, you know what? In college, people popped Adderall a lot. That was another one. People sold Adderall and Ritalin. That was another one. And by the way,
Yeah,
all this conversation, including when you said orgies, you can't say those things on TikTok, but we can do it here. And that is my point on why I
but
like it here.
it's just not as easy of a format, but whatever. But no, I just don't get it. Like I was in Omega Phi Alpha, like we had parties, and I've been to many a fraternity parties, and there's drinking and there's weed and things like that, but it's not. I think that people who think that have never experienced it, and so they just assume. I don't know.
One here just Natalie says, I went to UI. The frat parties are totally dumb boys thinking they're God's gift. And see, and it's not just at that school. That's at every school.
All of them. I remember like these dudes, like they were so just God's gift. Yeah, that's a great way. There was one guy in particular that was such a tool. And
Touchton?
no, I liked him. I liked him. He was funny, but he was kind of a tool. But they called him the Corey, or it was the Troy show. The Troy show, because everything this person did was just a show constantly. It was just ridiculous. But it's guys like that. It's guys who are just douchebags for the most part. And I know you were in a fraternity, Justin,
I
but
quit the fraternity.
you're not that type of guy. And there are good guys in fraternity, but you're 21, you're in college, you're just, you're not your
You're a
best.
kid. You're still a kid.
Yeah, you're just a kid.
You get freedom for the first time.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
yeah.
What?
Michael goes leave the tool name out of it, but his last name is O'Toole, is why. So
Oh, sorry.
Sir Michael, by the way, it's Sir Michael.
Sorry.
Okay. So what I really want to hear, I'm going to put something up, and then I want to hear you rant about this. Hold, please. Hold on, I got to send it to myself so I can put it up.
Okay, and I'm looking at some of the chats now. Allison, I totally agree with you. The sorority I was in really focused on philanthropy, and one of our members actually got killed in a drunk driving incident. So alcohol was very much off the table at any type of party that was affiliated with the sorority. Like you could not wear your letters and drink. Like it wasn't what people thought it was. And Amy, I agree with you. It has nothing to do with that. It has nothing to do with it at all. And I don't know why so many people imply that it does, because like we were saying, it's not a secret society where all these horrible things happen. It's just a bunch of kids.
I need this thing to go smaller so I can share this. You can keep talking real quick. I'm trying to figure this out.
I was waiting for you to share something, so I stopped. Okay, I'll go back to the chat.
There.
Yeah, Gabby, you're right.
See how cool this is, though?
Okay, now I have to see. It's hard for me, though, because I have to go out and back in each time.
No, sorry.
But okay.
Well, this is the statement that the Mad Greek put out today. Saying that People magazine is basically full of shit. I will read it to you because I know it's kind of small on the screen. This is officially from the Mad Greek, and it was only like an hour and a half ago they put this out. The news media should really do their due diligence before running a story with completely fabricated information. This would be my only response to this story from People. It is not true. This is talking about, by the way, Brian eating at the Mad Greek. The person who wants their 5 minutes of fame has now caused a whole bunch of extra work for myself and the investigators. I also have not forbidden employees from speaking to reporters. We all decided collectively to support the families and not share anything that could potentially harm the investigation or cause the families more stress. To all media reporters, internet sleuths, etc., please allow us to grieve the loss of our friends and co-workers. This has been incredibly hard on us, with our phones ringing off the hook, reporters banging on my door, in private residence, my banging on my door in my private residence, and hunting down employees, as well as showing up constantly at the restaurant. We have not been afforded the time to grieve. Please stop calling, messaging, knocking, and showing up. I personally will not be doing any interviews or entertaining wild accusations at this time. My employees also feel the same. To all others, please don't believe everything you read. If it's not coming from the courts or the police, wait until it does or doesn't before judging. To everyone who has supported myself, my family, and my employees, thank you. Your kind words and support help us get through each day while we navigate these unknown times. Respectfully, Jackie Fisher, Mad Greek. All right, let's chat about this statement. I'm going to say my part first, and then I want you to have the same gusto that you had a few minutes ago, okay? So my thing is, I think that this statement is full of shit, and I will tell you why. First of all, Natalie is part of the reason said this, and this is part of the reason why. There is zero way Brian being vegan did not go to Mad Greek. It's the top vegan restaurant in the area. He's been there 100% and probably more than once. Moscow Pullman is a small community. Okay, let me point out something else. When we look here, the person who wants their 5 minutes of fame, the person wanted to remain anonymous. They're not getting fame because they remained anonymous. On top of that, everything that People has put out, even if people are like, oh, it's People magazine, they're rag. First of all, I have never known People magazine to be a tabloid. They usually are pretty accurate, but regardless if they are a tabloid sometimes or not, or put out wrong information or not, so far everything they have put out has been true. Whoever their source is that's leaking information is I think being honest, because they've had to release information. I think that part of the reason the search warrant was unsealed as early as it was because of some of the information being released. So now that I have said that, I want to hear it, and I want you to have the same energy.
Here's the thing. I think it's a hot take. And I don't know that everyone's going to agree with me, and that's okay.
I think here they will.
Don't take it as disrespect. Hear me out before you make your decision. I think that these folks, especially folks like the Mad Greek, should probably just sit down. Just sit down. You don't need to come out here and tell all. So 1 minute. Let me back up.
Say what you know. No, go with the same energy, because it's YouTube. We're not going to get banned here for you using that energy.
But this is going to be saved, and I know I'm going to piss somebody off, and it's
Who
going to.
cares?
It's like you want help from the public. You get help from the public. You know, this horrible, heinous, tragic crime happens in your town, and you just want everybody to go away. Like, you're just like, oh, don't interview me. Don't talk to me. I'm, too special for this. Shut the fuck up. Like, the audacity that it takes for somebody disconnected. I'm not talking about the families. I am not talking about them. I don't think you should be busting down their doors. But to just ask questions, investigators, reporters, hey, did he eat here? And you guys are going to act like it's some sort of huge imposition when you have now way more business than you've ever had before. Like, don't act like this didn't help your bottom line. Because
Reviews?
Your reviews are awesome. So get out of here with that. And the biggest piece is, do you know how many people with missing or murdered loved ones would do anything in the world for this type of attention? Anything. And you guys are just throwing that out. Like, it just baffles me that you have the audacity to say, I won't speak on this again. Like, I get it. If you're under a gag order, sure. But I don't know. I feel like it's a hot take because other people might say, no, they have the right not to talk. Let them grieve. I get it. But this isn't mom, dad, sister, boyfriend, whatever. This is employer. This is coworkers. This is, I don't know. I don't know how you guys feel. I can't see the chat. But
people are agreeing with you.
Okay, yay. I figured I was going to.
Thinking that it's a good point. Yeah, somebody goes, exactly. You're getting all this free advertising, and all you can do is be a self-righteous jerk. Exactly. And somebody said, Amy says they're grieving the loss of their employees and coworkers.
Rubs me the wrong way.
I didn't mean to interrupt you. I'm sorry.
Sorry.
No, somebody, and Amy says
what were you saying?
Well, I can throw the comments up here so you can read them. Here you go.
Oh, well, thank you. Yeah, I get that they're grieving. I get that. But it's not like they're the mom or the dad, or you mean to tell me that you can't grieve? You're open from, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. You're already there. You're at your place of business. You didn't close down the store. You're sure not grieving enough to stop business, but you're grieving enough that you don't want somebody to ask you a question. It's unfortunately what happens. It's like Mary Piglets with Gabby and Brian. Like, they're gonna.
I can tell you what, if I'm ever in that area, if you and I are ever in that area, you can bet your ass we're gonna eat there.
100%. It's just the way it is. Like, I'm sorry, but it's like you want help from the public and then you don't. And then I just think about all the people who would, love this kind of attention. And let's be real, if this case had never got this type of attention, who knows?
They wanted this attention. They wanted this attention initially. And the other thing too, which we talked about with this, by the way, people are, somebody said that they like the YouTube version of you basically also, because we can be unhinged here and it's fantastic.
Yeah.
The thing is, they wanted the public's help. And when you're dealing with the news media, you have social media, you have TikTok, you have YouTube. I mean, I'll just say TikTok. You have TikTok because TikTok is really what makes stuff spread, and then you can come over to YouTube or whatever. But TikTok, really can do a lot for cases. I get YouTube too because YouTube did find Gabby Petito's body. But when you start dealing with people like Nancy Grace or People Magazine or ABC, NBC, some of these bigger news affiliates, you're now taking this case off of social media because if you go up to like a couple of weeks ago when 2020 Inside Edition, all of these, up to a couple of weeks ago, very few people knew about this case outside of social media, at least in Alyssa and my experience. And that includes my brother, who's an attorney. That includes, people that we talk to day in and day out. Like, oh, maybe I heard something about it, but don't really know for sure. So then when you have Nancy Grace, and look, and Nancy Grace, I think, is fire to a point. it's very difficult to watch her show. I don't like watching her. Like, I appreciate what she's done and what she's been through, but like watching her gives me a headache. But like, even so, Nancy Grace, People Magazine, Inside Edition, 2020, that all gives a completely different demographic views on this case, which also helps provide exposure to help find more information. When this all started, they wanted people to help. And you can't get all these people invested in wanting to help and then say, all right, we got the help we need, go away. We're done.
And I agree. Like, I'm not a huge fan of Nancy Grace. Now, I like a lot of the things she's done in the past. Like, she was such a huge advocate for Natalie Hollowell. That's a case that I've followed for the better part of probably 15 years at this point. So I like what she does, but I'm not necessarily a fan of her personality, and her demeanor. However, yeah, she went out there and she sat at that table, and it looked kind of dumb to sit at that table in front of the house.
It looked really dumb.
Yeah, but it's Nancy Grace, y'all. Like, show some respect. She can bring so much insight to this case. She has found and helped countless other.
And her resources.
And it put a bad kind of taste in my mouth for like the people that live there. Like, I'm sorry that you're tired of the media. I'm sorry, but something horrible happened there, and this is just how it is. And the news cycle's quick. I'm sure already most people are gone. I don't think Brian Enton's there anymore. I'm positive.
No, I can tell you, he's in South Carolina for the Murdoch case, which we'll be covering Monday.
Yeah, like, so what if Nancy Grace was there for a weekend? Like, it just, again, it's the audacity of some folk. And here's the thing: if no, they would be like, "Oh my God, this horrible thing happened. No one cared for whatever reason." You just can't. You can't win. It's just not. It's not a good look.
I don't know if you can see the comment that I threw up there.
Are y'all going to talk about y'all's opinion on Dylan?
Do you want me to take it? Or you want to take it?
Yeah. Yeah. My first reaction when I heard what happened, like in regards to Dylan, I was like, oh my gosh, like, how is that possible? Like, my brain went a million miles an hour trying to figure out how. So my first opinion of her was like, not bad or good, just like, holy crap, like, what happened? I need to know more. How did this happen? Now, with the additional information we know, I think it's really unfortunate. And I think that I don't think she had anything to do with it. I just think she made some maybe not great decisions. And I think she made those decisions out of fear, which I get. I totally get that. And it sucks. And I mean, this girl has to live the rest of her life with the decisions she made, or involuntary. No matter if she chose to freeze or not, it still happened. And it was a chain of events. I mean, the cops weren't called for 7 or 8 hours. And the fact that she knew, I mean, that's something she has to live with. And that sucks.
Yeah,
I don't know how.
I think, so my opinion on this, you guys are asking some great stuff we're going to come back to. I think, Crystal, I'm going to come back to this comment, the one that you had here that I put up, and the other one you just made. I think you're bringing up some really good points, and they're good talking points. So we'll come back to them in a second. But here's the thing about Dylan. When Gabby Petito was happening, there was a rumor that went around based on a fake video. A YouTube creator, also made a video, the screen video for the Idaho case, but made one where Brian Laundrie went live on a boat and essentially hid this guy's videos. These videos sparked a thing that Gabby Petito's best friend, Rose Davis, was having an affair with Brian and had something to do with her murder. Okay. Rose, and when people would ask me my opinions on Rose, I would say I don't think she was involved, but she gives me bad vibes. And that was even wrong, because now Rose and I are friends. And I think Olivia and I were talking about this, and I think I just realized this tonight. When it comes to like Rose going live and talking about things, I'm the only one she does it with, which I take as a huge privilege. And to me, it means that she feels that that I provide a safe space for her to be okay. But even when we went live a couple of weeks ago, and we're a year and a half out from Gabby Petito's death, somebody still came into her live and called her a murderer. So what you had happen in her situation was this is a young girl, early 20s, trying to grieve the loss of her friend, and people are coming at her as being and implicating her in this for something that she very clearly didn't do. And you know what? I'll give it to Rose. Rose, I think you would agree, Alyssa, Rose is a strong person. I think that a lot of people would not have fared the way that she has, and it could have been incredibly detrimental. And saying all of this, she wasn't there when Gabby died. Dylan was there. Dylan is also a victim. So when rumors come out and people start saying, well, the roommates did it, they're involved, they're implicated. Y'all, I'll always be the first to admit when I was wrong. I was wrong about saying Rose had bad vibes. I sat here on lives with you guys on TikTok saying that the police force is Mayberry, and I gave them the pass like, hey, look, I get why you guys aren't doing well with this. Y'all haven't had a murder in 7 years. But the police surprised me, and they knew what the hell they were doing, and they pinned Brian, which was on nobody's radar. Don't you think that if Dylan was involved, the police would have already done something about it? The point of the matter is that this is a young girl whose life is completely her mental health will never be the same. I mean, what she has witnessed is this is the shit of nightmares. This is what you see in a horror movie. And she witnessed it firsthand. So my point of all of this long thing is that she is a victim. If she was truly involved and did something wrong, the police would have already said something. People ask about Bethany. Bethany never saw anything, I think, until the next morning at all. She didn't interact with anybody in the house. She was asleep on her, very bottom level, room.
Mm-hmm.
And these girls are victims too. They're also going to have to live with the survivor's guilt that comes with this.
Mm-hmm.
So anyways, that is my point on that. Anything else you want to add before we move on to the next spot?
The only thing I would add is, I agree 100%. She's got to live with the fact that had she done something different, would the outcome have been different? Could she have gotten police there in time to catch Brian leaving? Could she have got police there or EMS there in time to save a life? I don't know. She doesn't know. No one knows, but she's got to live with that. And that's heavy. That is a lot of weight to have on your shoulders. Of course I have questions like everyone else, like someone said in the comments, why was she frozen if she didn't see anything? I have asked myself that question 100 times.
Well, we don't know that she was frozen though. That's just what people have speculated.
No, it said it in the affidavit.
Oh, did it? Okay.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
It's frozen shock phase, I think is the word. They say frozen shock phase, but for sure frozen shock. Why were you frozen in shock? Because that's the part that contradicts itself. And this is where people get in a loop with this is, okay, if you thought it was a party house and it was this guy leaving, maybe, a friend, boyfriend, one night stand, whatever, why would you get frozen in shock? So there has to be a missing piece of information. There just has to be. Something happened. Why she didn't call the cops.
And we'll find out in due time.
I do wonder, though, if the defense for Brian is going to, just rail into her. Why didn't you call the cops? Why didn't you call the cops? I mean, I don't know. Is she could she be like criminally negligent? Because just because you were scared doesn't mean you don't follow the law. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I don't think though, but here's the thing, I don't think she was criminally negligent because no matter what happened, even if she had called the police immediately, there was nothing that was going to save any of them. The stabbing that he did, the points of entry for the knife that he did were, we believe based on Kaylee's dad that throats were slashed.
Yeah.
There was nothing that was going to save these four people.
Yeah.
There's nothing that was going to save, Kaylee, Maddie, Xana, or Ethan. Nothing. And so I don't think that there's criminal negligence there, even if you look at it from that point, because there's no world where the cops could have gotten there or EMS could have gotten there in time to save any of them. He knew it. Brian knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
And I don't know what just happened there. I want to come back to what Crystal said a second ago. So we're talking about Nancy Grace on the table, and so Banfield can stand outside the police station on the other murder, the Brian Walsh murder, and that's okay. I don't think that anybody's giving a hard time about Nancy Grace being there. I think the table was just a little extra. I don't think that it's whatever. It's just the table part. If she was standing out, but although Banfield shocked the hell out of me, because I have never seen Banfield not behind that desk ever. But the other thing that Crystal said that I did not know, did you know that when Nancy Grace was a prosecutor that she has a 100% track record?
I think I've heard that before.
I didn't know that.
Really amazing.
I did not know that. Okay, I'm going to scroll down because I haven't in a bit.
But I try to think like if I were Dylan, like she's just got to be fighting so many demons right now, and I hope that she gets the help she needs to process this, because this is going to follow her the rest of her life.
100%. Yeah, I mean, people have to stop doubting her and her actions. I agree, because we're only told what they want to tell us. There is so much more that we don't know. And when this goes to trial, it will come out. But right now, we just have to take what they've given us and assume that the police are making the right decisions, because so far, again, I will say it again, this police work has been impressive. I didn't initially say that, but it's been impressive.
I have so many questions about that. Like, just when did they find out? Like, just I don't know. That's a different conversation.
Okay, I'm gonna bring this up because actually I talked about this yesterday. I don't know if you can see it. It's just, have we heard about the grand jury theory? I actually was going to bring this up. So for those of y'all who don't know about this, I'm going to scroll down so I get caught up here real quick. Make sure there's no other questions before I get to this. Somebody asked her throat was slashed. Didn't we understand from Steve at one point that Kaylee's throat was?
I don't know.
I vaguely remember that. I could be full of shit.
Or not, I don't know.
Even though the carnage is, yeah. I'm going back. Yeah, Natalie said the same person. We have 1% of evidence. Hey, Katie. Or Kate T. All right, I'm caught up on things. So let's talk about this. If y'all haven't heard about the grand jury theory, Fox did an article on this yesterday. And I don't know if this is something that they're looking at, but it's very, very interesting. Basically, if they prosecution decided to pursue a grand jury, gather a grand jury, okay? What they could do is they could bypass Brian's preliminary hearing, okay? Which means what this would do for Dylan and for other witnesses, if there are other witnesses, we assume that there are. What we assume that this would do, or basically we're not assuming, what it would do is it would make it so defense would not be able to question anything. Prosecution only would be able to present their evidence, and the grand jury would get to decide if it's going to trial. And that means it would save Dylan and anybody else from being, at least for the time being, until the trial, being cross-examined and having to go through and relive all of this stuff. So that's something that they could do. I don't know if they're going to do that. But they could. they could, apparently that's something that they could do, is they could go past. It wouldn't affect his due process. It would just end the preliminary hearing. He would still get a trial, which would still be part of the due process. Again, Fox is the only one that talked about that, but it's very interesting. It's a very interesting thought. I don't think it's going to end up going that way. Do I think it's possible they'll go grand jury? No, honestly, I don't. I know. I really want to set something up with Carrie. I need to call Carrie or get in touch with Carrie and be like, okay, can we do something? So, thoughts on news outlets publicly opposing sealing the evidence? Yeah, I mean, they're news outlets. They want ratings. They want views. Of course, they want all the information they can get if it's going to get them views. This case is incredibly captivating. And so people are, they know that if they get information on it and they're exclusive on it, then that's going to be a lot of clicks and views and discussion for them. And I think that's just, yeah. So anyways, that's my thoughts on that. I'm going to go grab candy real quick. You can keep talking.
Okay, I'll read a couple comments. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so people say if they saw a stranger in the house, they'd call 911 right away, but at the same time, they aren't 19 and living in a party house. Totally. So throughout college, I lived in the dorms, and we had 4 girls to each room. So it was totally not out of the ordinary. Like if you got up we all had separate bedrooms, but, shared living spaces or common spaces. So it's like, it would not be out of the ordinary to go out of your room and see a bunch of people you didn't know. Like if one was having a party and you were going to bed early because of that thing, totally not out of the ordinary. Would it, scare me and put me into some shock? No, I was used to it. It would happen all the time. That's kind of whatever. But I mean, if you're startled, it's 4 a.m., you just woke up, you run out to get a drink and you see some dude leaving, you're going to assume he was hanging out with one of your roommates. It might scare you and be like, oh my gosh, that frightened me. And, so maybe that's. But yeah, you wouldn't call 911 immediately. I totally get that train of thought because you see people all the time in and out.
To answer this question, yes, I am very confident they're going to go for the death penalty. If so, do I think he'll plead for life? I don't think he'll take a plea deal. I think he thinks he can beat it. You have anything to say on that? Was that it?
Sorry, I was reading comments do I think? No, I agree. 100%. They're going to go death penalty. 100%.
The ghost stops are good.
Oh, good. I'm glad you're finally eating the Halloween stuff.
This takes time. Dylan, I think, was a freshman, right?
Yeah. She was 19, yeah. So I guess she could have been
a sophomore.
My guess is a sophomore. Because, how intimidating would it be to move in your first year with upperclassmen in a party house? Probably a sophomore. That's just a guess, though.
Yeah. What else do you want to talk about on this? He was in a mask, right? You know what? 10 years ago, 4 years ago, because the mask, they said, covered his mouth and nose.
Mm-hmm.
Not a ski mask. That's why she saw eyebrows and probably hair. It was a COVID-type mask. 3-4 years ago, yeah, that'd have been strange to see. In the Pacific Northwest, guy from Washington wearing a COVID mask, that's not weird at all. Not
okay.
Anymore.
But in the context, I disagree. In the context, I think it is a little strange.
Unless he thought he was sick.
He's coming from upstairs. So he was in the only thing upstairs is 2 bedrooms. So you can assume he was in one of their bedrooms. Were they studying? Were they just hanging out? Were they just friends? Doesn't matter. In Dylan's mind, he was just in there, and then he's gonna put his mask on to come down the stairs.
Well, she didn't see. Maybe she thought he just had the mask on the whole time.
I guess. I just can't imagine that many of their house guests. But yeah, I guess it's plausible.
It's not as abnormal as it used to be.
No, not at all. Not at all.
We also have the gift of seeing this after the fact and being able to talk about it. Well, and if he was wearing, he could have been covered in blood, but if he's wearing black, which he was, that hides blood really well.
Well, if you watch Casey Little, that professor that I love so much, he was even saying it's not like you think it is in the movies. Like he's not going to be covered in blood, and like when the media uses terms like bloodbath, it's just sensationalism. That basically it would have been like blood sprays, and it's likely he's not going to be dripping. It, it's going to be like splatter. There might be some, but he's not going to be dripping in blood. I think I sent you that video today, Justin, explaining that a little bit more. And that really helped me because I thought he'd be kind of covered too. But
I don't think I've seen it yet.
No, that's not really the way it works. That's more of a movie thing. So if you guys don't follow Casey Little, I'm pretty sure it's LYLTE on TikTok. He's an older gentleman. He is, I think, a psychology professor that specializes in like serial killers. And his stuff is amazing. Amazing. So follow.
By the way, if somebody is in here and you're brand new and you don't subscribe, please do, because I'm at $31.99 and I would love a nice round even number.
That's a great question.
Which one? I'll put it up here. Oh, you froze.
I wonder if we're looking at. See, I can't see.
You froze for a second there. You're frozen again. Okay, there you go. You're back. Okay. Which question?
The one about, do you think so?
I'll throw it up there.
I saw that kind of there was all these police calls made on that house, like within the last couple of months. I think it was 9. Ridiculous. And that's really, really interesting. Could he have been the one calling? I've seen other people speculate that too. I think it's very plausible.
Whoever just subscribed to get me to 3,200, thank you. So this is a good question. I mean, I definitely think he's been in the house before. You know what I want to talk about that nobody's asking?
What?
I want to talk about what a horrible driver he was.
He literally, the FBI wasn't even following him like we thought, and he got pulled over twice within an hour.
He also, in Pullman, remember, he hadn't been there very long, had 2 run-ins with the police for his driving already.
Yeah.
You watched him not be able to figure out how to turn around, on the cameras, basically. Pulled over twice. Didn't somebody say there was a body shop issue too, that the car had to go to a body shop? I don't remember.
There was like the Carfax thing for the rust, remember? For like.
Oh yeah, that's not a thing. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so Natalie went there. She was every party she went to on King had cops called a couple times.
I bet the cops just got tired of going out there. Like, it's a bunch of kids.
Well, that's all they do out there, though.
Yeah.
So, now it did come out today, which I haven't done a video on it yet, or maybe I should. But it did come out today that that it is confirmed that he followed all 3 girls on Instagram. Like, I know that was rumor and we speculated that, but then there was like a lot of fake accounts out there. So we didn't know. And, but it is now apparently confirmed according to, what was it, People?
People. Yeah, Judy, I kind of agree with you there. I kind of thought, so the comment is, I think he's schizophrenic, heroin can trigger that, and there are a lot of signs. I think that maybe just a little bit different, that he absolutely has some sort of underlying mental disorder. And I think the heroin helped calm that for him. I think that he was young and he didn't know how to handle these massive intrusive feelings he was having and the thoughts. And I personally, speculation only, think that's why he went to drugs. And then the drugs either weren't helping or he went to rehab. He saw all of the awful things that the drugs were doing. So he threw himself into his studies, and that kind of became his new drug. And we all know how that went. But yeah, absolutely. Something underlying going on there.
Yeah, self-medicating, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So, no, the real reason his dad drove with him. He's a real shit driver. Love it.
Did you see, Justin, and other folks wanted, I sent you a video of one of his raps and where he calls himself the devil.
Yeah, I mean, well, we played the rap before.
I encourage you to go back and read those comments, because you will fall over laughing with the people making fun of his rapping. Oh my God, it's so funny.
Okay, I can look at it.
Yeah, they need to add this to the charges list, and I mean, it's just,
I mean, his rapping is bad.
it's really
The beat's good though. The beat's good. Where is it? Could they find him incompetent with a mental disorder? No, because Idaho is the only state. He picked the only state that doesn't allow like insanity pleas. So no, won't affect him at all. It's funny. He could have murdered people 10 minutes away in Washington. He chooses Idaho, a state with no insanity plea and a state with a death penalty. Washington doesn't have. He drives like the other bride who makes stupid internet searches. My God, that guy, dude. If I y'all earlier today, Victoria, when we first got up, was watching. My daughter, for those who don't know, Victoria and she's 3.5, was watching Dora the Explorer. And they're at the part where they're saying, like, I forget what it was, something grandma's house, whatever, and they're just saying that over and over and over again. And I'm like, I feel like Dora the Explorer could solve the Brian Walsh case. Like, I was like, you could just make it like hacksaw knife, internet search. Like, if I had like editing skills, I would totally make that. Am I going to attempt to reach out to the families one day? Probably not. I try to be respectful of the families. I want to go. I'll come. I guess we got a lot of questions here. All right. So, no, that's not something that I would do. If they wanted to talk to me, I absolutely would be happy to and privileged to do so. But, it's like even with the Gabby Petito family, like I've never spoken with anybody in that family. I've only spoken with Rose. And, if they wanted to speak to me, great. I'm happy to do so. I would, again, feel it a privilege. Same thing here. But I'm not going to be the one that reaches out to them, because to me, that seems like a clout chasing type thing to do. And I just am not going to do that. I summarize news and we talk about it on these lives. We'll talk about opinions, but I'm not like, Olivia goes out there and does all that stuff, so I get where she's at. But for me, it's just, anyways, that's just where I stand on it. You have anything to add to that?
No, you got it.
No.
No.
Okay, somebody asked also, let me go back. There's a couple of things. What is snow vision? Essentially, snow vision is like if you see static. Like, I don't really get it. Let me look it up real quick.
It's like, how I would describe it, I don't know if any of you all get auras. Like, I actually have some right now. You can get them before you get migraines. Mine look like little dots, right? And it's like little DNA strands is how I've always described it. But for me, it just means I might get a headache or the lighting. Like the lighting in this room is really bad. It's making my eyes hurt. But for him, it would have been like covering his field of vision.
It
Like,
says they describe it as like people describe it as seeing things in a snow globe.
yeah, like there's just constant, like, I think TV static is probably the best way. I don't even know. Do people even get TV static anymore?
If you're old enough to know what TV static is, great. If you don't, then you can probably YouTube TV static.
Yeah, to look at it. But yeah, back when you didn't have a connection,
Hey,
and you'd have static, and it's just like little black and white dots.
side note.
Yes.
Do you remember on tube TVs that would have the fuzzy feeling?
Like when you walked up to them?
You touch the screen, you run your fingers over.
Yeah.
No, these kids today will never know what that feels like. I bet Abby doesn't know what that feels like.
No, probably not.
Anyway, I digress. Is it true I heard they pulled him over on purpose on his way to Indiana, Pennsylvania? They pulled him over on purpose because he was a bad driver. It was not from the FBI like Fox initially said. They were full of shit.
Do you hear that noise?
I do hear that noise.
Do you hear that?
Uh-huh.
It's making the dogs go crazy too. What the heck was
Not
that?
our dog.
No, the other dog.
Weird.
Y'all hear that? I wonder if it's picked up.
Yes, Jed, we can see your comments. Going back through, trying to read. I heard that it was a possible animal hair that could be from Murphy. You probably heard that from me because I said that.
No, don't.
So here's Dora. I'm going to put this up here. Okay, Dora, do you know what not to search on Google? That's right.
Yeah, right?
Oh my God, that's funny. Is that a real thing? Yes, it's a real thing. Brian claims to have had snow vision, or visual snow, and apparently affects 2% of the population.
Yeah. I can't imagine just having those little auras are so annoying to me. Like to see it like in your full field of vision all the time, that would drive you nuts.
Oh, somebody tried breaking in your home last night, Jan. I'm glad y'all are okay.
Oh,
how bad do you have to be to get pulled over 2 times in 10 minutes?
Real bad. Real bad.
I touched the TV for static as a kid. Me too.
It was outside, whatever it was. Sorry, I didn't mean to freak you guys out. It just sounded like I don't know, maybe like backfiring. Like
it's okay. You have that closet so full that I can't go get anything out to help us if we need to.
I don't think it was anything. I think it's just probably some kid messing around with, I don't know, something.
It seems that visual snow is a medical condition, so I would imagine there's probably some kind of way to diagnose it.
I think Casey Little talks about the visual snow too. Oh my gosh, they left and came back?
Good God, that's terrifying.
Wow. I hope the cops, I don't know, did something.
Do we want to talk about the Pennsylvania case? Like that one, I don't know why that one's not getting more traction, because that one to me is right up here with the other two that have happened.
I didn't finish reading it because I need a break from all the murder.
Oh my God, I feel like my whole life is murder.
And I even watched that movie tonight, Murder. I read the book though, so I had to watch the movie. But,
you want to talk about the Grizzlies?
I mean, it sucks. They did something wrong, 100%. But they did not, in my opinion, deserve the sentence they got. Mm-mm. I hope when they appeal, apparently they're going to appeal it. I hope that something happens and they at least get their sentence reduced.
Yeah, I hope so too. Again, it baffles me that they've given Todd Crisley the same amount of time. It's pretty much the same amount of time as Josh Duggar. Like,
Yeah.
and Crisley's crimes, in my opinion, don't even compare.
They're not even like nobody could ever sell me on that. Like you could never convince me that they are in the same realm. Never. And you're telling me that he deserves as much as Josh Duggar. No.
What is stupid flipper poor kids? Or are you calling me stupid? Because if you're calling me stupid, that's not really the way to get me to
Says
help your cause.
stupid flipper. I think that's a
Oh, stupid
name.
flipper the person. Sorry, totally misread that. Okay, you're not calling me stupid. Sorry. I don't know who that is.
Poor kid needs to be viral.
Let me see. Let me Google it. That's not very nice.
No,
I thought he called me stupid.
you're a stupid flipper.
So I'm like, oh, is it a funny person? Oh, help me publicize abuse and corruption in court. All right.
Hi.
All right. We will explore him. We will explore him. That's interesting. Okay, there's a furry. Somebody's saying furry kidnap.
They should have just
January 2nd, Demi Furry Fox arrested on charges of kidnapping a 13-year-old. This is on January 2nd.
I mean, Todd and Julie.
Did you freeze? Hey, you're frozen. She's frozen. She doesn't realize it yet. What did Todd do? He committed fraud, bank fraud, basically fraud against banks and like tax crimes. There you go. You're back. Say that again.
Sorry. I don't know. Did you guys move on?
No, we were waiting to see what you said. I yelled down the hall to say.
No, what I was saying, like if it were up to me, which it's not, but Todd and Julie would have had all of their assets
Seized.
seized. Basically like a Schitt's Creek situation. Like that would have been much more like in line. And sure, put them on house arrest, put them on probation, let them do 6 months, but like 12 years. Crazy. Absolutely nuts.
His mom will probably be dead by the time he gets out.
Yeah, she has cancer.
No, she'll definitely be dead then.
So sad.
And the kids, young kids, now Savannah's got to take over all of that.
Yeah.
Oh God, too much of y'all are saying, but yeah, it's. Anyway, I want to talk about that for a minute because it's that case really bothers me. I'm gonna write him a letter based on our conversation with once he gets settled.
Well, they moved. Julie was supposed to be in a facility in Tallahassee, and then I heard that I think it was Tallahassee, and then she's now being moved to like a medical type prison in Kentucky.
Who is Julie? And Kat, yeah, go for it, by the way.
Say it again.
No, somebody asked if they could make a joke about you freezing, and I told her to go for it. What happened in Pennsylvania? A woman killed her mother and father by shooting them in the head, then dismembering them with a chainsaw, then wrapping their body up in bedding and plastic bags and dumping them in 2 separate trash cans, and apparently maybe under a blanket because that's what the brother supposedly saw. If you're talking about the Utah murders like Crystal and Kylan, yes, that has been solved. Supposedly. Alyssa's doubtful.
They just pinned it on a dead guy. You know how I feel about that.
Yeah. Samantha says, random note, LOL. You're actually talking to the right people to actually have this conversation with. Random note, LOL. I'm trying to buy a house, but the interest rate is so high right now, and it makes me mad because I'm tired of renting. Still buy the house. You what is it? You marry the house, you date the mortgage. You can always refinance when it goes down.
Well, thank you, Karen, for the information. So she's not in a medical facility. She's at a prison that is attached or has a medical facility attached. So that doesn't mean, I guess, that she's got anything going on.
Gotcha. Speaking of medical facilities, let me go ahead and bring this whole conversation up. I have not seen that, Crystal. But Ron Jeremy was officially, you know how I feel about this whole thing. Like, I'm very pissed off about it. Ron Jeremy was deemed too unfit to stand trial against 30 cases of rape and sexual assault, one of which was against a 15-year-old girl. And I think that that's not cool. Like, I mean, I get it. He's got dementia, so he can't stand trial. But it's like these victims never get their, they're never going to get their justice. And the thing about it is, if you read the article, these cases span a total of 40 years. You know, the oldest one goes back 40 years. And in the initial video I made about it, and I've not made the follow-up video yet, but I think I'm going to. Isn't the Grizzlies the motivation is they wanted money. I think that's the motivation.
I mean, yeah, the motivation we all have. It's the reason we get up and go to our jobs, and you know, we don't do anything illegal, but they did.
And so, anyways, and people in my video, my comments, like, well, why did they wait 40 years? Why did they do this? Why did they do that? Well, there's a few reasons that I think. One is statute of limitations ran out. And actually, was it Biden? Didn't Biden just, it was like a year or so ago, he lifted the statute of limitations so people can go back and file charges against their past abusers. And so I think that's part of it. But two, if you go back 40 years ago to 1982, the 70s, it was a very different mindset. Women were not believed when this kind of stuff happened. So, you know, they were showing, well, women victims are still shamed today. Think about how it was 40 years ago. So, anyways.
I know.
They say there is no proof. I hope they get a new trial. I do too. I've not listened to the Dr. Death podcast. So go ahead.
That's an interesting thought. What Judy just said, if you want to.
Yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying, but to me, that's even more of a point. I mean, I know. Okay, look, this is just us having a talking point here because, you know, we know that legally they're going to do what they're going to do. You can only do so much. You can't try somebody and convict them of a crime when they have dementia. So this is all just hypotheticals. But if dude doesn't even know what's going on, then who the hell cares if he's getting punished for it? You know, like, if it makes the victims feel better. Because here's the thing about it. 30 victims have brought accusations. 30 women have brought accusations against him. A lot of the comments in my comment section were, well, women lie about this. So I looked at the numbers. And 5.2% is the average of women who lie about these kind of things, meaning less than 2 women, like 1.5 women, are lying in this case of 30. So anyways, that's my point. So they're not. Anyways, can you refinance before you pay off the mortgage? Yeah, of course, because if you pay off the mortgage, you don't need to refinance because you don't have a mortgage to refinance in the first place. So yes, absolutely. I did not see anything about Usain Bolt.
So I Googled it. He's missing $12.7 million from an investment firm. They don't know. he's saying that they don't know what happened to $12 million. That sucks.
If you want my opinion on the Summer Wells case, I would encourage you to go look at last night's live on here. I talked about it in depth. That is going to be the only time I talk about Summer Wells. The only time. For the reasons that are listed in that other video, but it's toward the end. If you'd like to go watch it from last night's live, because we live very close to that, and it is a safety concern to talk about it. So, fair statement.
Yep, very fair.
Like, even when I was talking about it last night, Alyssa sends me a text and she's like, "Don't say anything that's going to get the cornbread mafia at our house."
Yeah, I don't want to.
What if you need to pay off the mortgage but need to remodel the house? That is called a cash out refi, or you could do a home equity line of credit.
Mm-hmm. Spot on. That is spot on.
People are getting bored with us. We're dropping people. Either that or just getting late.
I know. I think everybody's kind of getting tired.
Yeah, I know I am.
We have any more? I mean, I'm just reading the questions. What do you want to talk about? We could give it till midnight.
Then we can go watch that 90s show and then go to bed.
Yeah.
Doug says your hair's on fire.
Doug's my favorite. The best.
Am I in finance? I am not in finance. Alyssa, do you have a finance degree? Yeah. Alyssa's got a finance degree. We own 3 Airbnbs plus our regular house. We are very good at we do a lot of my dad also is in real estate. My mom is in was in mortgages. So we just have a very good understanding about stuff like that.
Yep.
And so you're being told happy birthday too, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Who remembered? Aw, thank you. It is Tuesday, and I am so excited. I'm going to take some time off work. Why did we go with Airbnb instead of VRBO?
Oh, we're on both.
But, just say Airbnb.
Yeah, Airbnb is the bigger moneymaker. And actually, technically, we aren't with any of them. We put the properties with a property manager because we got tired of dealing with people.
Oh, Kat, that's a funny typo, I have to say.
What?
You have to scroll up.
All right. Let's scroll up on this. Honestly, things most women had to put up with and classify as another creepy dude encountered back in the day, which is now sexual harassment. Back in the day, we had to suck it off. Okay, that's funny. Let's talk about this. We're going to talk about this comment for a minute. I'm throwing you right up here. That's funny.
I mean, you're not wrong, but
I mean, a lot of times they did make you suck it off, but sorry, that's not funny because that's anyway.
No, it's not funny, but it is funny,
It's not funny, but let's talk about this for a minute because I think that these cases kind of bring out a very good point. As we've talked about before, like, I get it. I'm a guy. I don't have to think about my surroundings whenever I get out of a car or go through a parking garage or whatever. I can get out of my car to wherever I am and just not even think twice about it and go. I know that is not the case for pretty much any woman, period.
Mm-hmm.
And the challenge is, though, if you're not nice to dudes who creep you out, they could kill you or assault you.
Mm-hmm.
If you are nice, they could still kill you or assault you.
Mm-hmm.
If you ignore them, Brian Koberger, they could still kill you. It's like y'all aren't safe anywhere. And then there's the whole apparently very common thing in funeral homes where people abuse women's bodies when they're dead. So y'all aren't even safe. Y'all aren't even safe when you're dead.
Or you can.
I don't feel bad.
You can fall in love and marry the guy or date the guy or whatever it is. And then you do something that I say you do something like, I'm not trying to put blame on the victim, but like you tried to leave him or something like that, and then they kill you.
Yeah.
You know, it's it's
But
hard.
yes, you just have to suck it off and shake it off.
That's
Suck it off.
Can we put that on a shirt?
Yes. Would y'all buy that if we put that on a shirt? Just suck it off and shake it off. So yes, the answer to your question is yes. We do have info on how to rent our cabin there. If you go to the link tree in my profile on TikTok, they're listed there. One of them I need to update because it's got a new link. But yeah, Brian Walsh. It's an exact example. You can be married to them, and then if you were like, yes, they would buy this. So
I can try to.
Somebody's scared to be a female these days. I think it's been scary for a long time. At least these days, there's a voice. Back in the day, you just had to suck it up.
Yeah.
Or off, whatever. But okay, that's the last one. I got out of my system. Last one. But yeah.
I'm cold. Why am I so cold?
Yes, Kat would give Portia credit. I'm gonna run to the restroom real quick. You talk to them and answer questions. I will be right back.
Okay. Let's see if there's any questions.
Yeah, I can do this and see. Let me see if I want to try something.
What are you doing? Where'd he go? I don't like it. Okay, I'm gonna try to see the chat. If you guys have any questions, let's see. You see a new song out of this, Doug? That's funny. Yeah, stay away from any Brians or Christophers for that matter, because both Brian Laundrie and Koberger's middle names are Christopher, and of course you've got Chris Watts. So just steer clear. Yeah, you're right, Judy. If you get in a fight, I can give you a black eye, but you can kill me. Background check, 100%. Deep dive. Do all the socials, 100%. Scott Peterson, yeah. Yeah, we can talk about Justin. Do you guys have any burning Justin questions I can answer for you? Sounds like he might be on his way back. Are pictures of our cabins on our page? I think there is some on both of our TikToks. I am Alyssa on TikTok, by the way. So feel free to check there. I know I have one because we have bears at a couple of the cabins, so I know I have some of the bears on there. And then I think Justin has them in his link tree. What do I do for work? So I won't give specifics just because, there's a ton of crazy people out there. But I work in the finance industry and I am essentially like a project manager. That's not my exact title, but it's the best way to explain it quickly. How long have we been married? We got married in 2011, so it will be 12 years this year.
Yep, long time.
Oh, you're back.
I'm back.
I got through a bunch of stuff.
Well, I'm glad.
You have a bear that loves your garbage? Yeah, we have 2 of those.
2 bears at 2 different properties.
Mm-hmm.
No, 1 bear at 2 properties, each have their own bear.
Yeah, they each have a bear. There's 3 properties total, but the third one does not have bears. It has cats, tons of cats, and
I will be dealing with that.
You gonna deal with the cat situation?
I think so.
Oh, and groundhog. That one has
groundhog. The groundhog is huge.
He is.
What other questions about our lives that we can answer? I'm happy to do it. It's nice of a change from murder.
That is funny, Megan. Someone wrote that women should have an app that notifies them when their husband buys cleaning supplies because most don't clean. That's really funny.
That's brilliant. You could.
They're
in the mountains. They're in Pigeon Forge in Gatlinburg, Tennessee.
Mm-hmm. We had a badger.
One is a baby, and the other one. What's the other? The other one I forget.
What's the question?
The bears. Big ones are babies. One of them's kind of a teenager.
To me, they both look big. I don't know how to judge a bear. There's one really good video in my profile of one of the bears that I got during the daytime. The other bear I've only seen at night, so I don't have a really good size of him.
No, our Airbnbs are literally on the complete opposite end of the state from Memphis.
Wow, your dog took down a groundhog? Wow.
We like our little groundhog.
He hasn't caused any problems.
No, he's fine.
A teenage grizzly. Okay, so grizzlies, those
They
are like
black bears.
ones, right?
God, I'm not moving. God, we're not going to Idaho.
I didn't see the Idaho question.
No, Natalie lives in Idaho.
Oh, gotcha.
Brian Walsh could write a book and call it "How Not to Commit Murder for Dummies." Except I don't think he could.
Yep.
This is live, Erica.
Yep.
You're not far from Memphis. You love Pigeon Forge. Yeah, well, yeah, we have a couple there. They're managed by a property, but they really are. Okay, so I'll tell you the one that currently needs to be relisted. It's a fine place. It's cute, but it is our least the favorite place that we have that we own. You know, if you don't need a lot of people, like 2 to 4 people max. They'll sleep 6, but 2 to 4 I think is like ideal. Is our place in Gatlinburg. That place we bought it turnkey, and it was so nicely done.
Mm-hmm.
No, Doug.
No.
Start getting ghosted.
This is the first one I've seen in a minute, but keep in mind, like, I'm seeing some, like, I'm going through StreamYard to do this, so I'm wondering if I'm not seeing it as fast as everybody else. So
I think you are. What's comment you see now?
Natalie's, the one that says cats are scary.
Yeah, there's one right below it. Gabby just posted.
Okay, let me so yeah, I think I just have a tiny lag on my comments. Okay, I see it now.
I titled this particular episode "Friday Night Murder."
Oh, good.
I'm gonna call Murder Monday.
Check the Kelsey Barrett case. Okay, I don't know that one. That does not ring a bell. We'll have to look that one up.
Okay, Eric, I misunderstood. You know what I'm going to try to do? I don't know if y'all have interest in this, but I'm going to try to do it anyways, just because I want to. Since we are going to Pigeon Forge, there is a crime museum that you guys will hear me talk about fairly. I don't know. I'd say it's more than occasional, right? But like it's called Alcatraz East, and I'm going to reach out to them, see if I can do some kind of collab. But if not, I'm thinking about going there. Alyssa doesn't want to go if I'm going to live stream, but I'm thinking about live streaming.
It's hard because of Victoria, and he'll just be on live, and then I'm trying to keep Victoria interested in a place that she does not want to. It's not a place for a 3-year-old, so it would just be chaos. So that might be something he just does by himself.
Or I can make a video. But there's so much there that's really good. So I'm going to reach out to them too to see if, like, hey, do y'all do any kind of collabs with, social media creators? And see what they say.
Okay, Doug, I'll Google it. Maybe if you can message it to me in TikTok, because I can't put it in my phone right now because
you're on your phone.
I'm on my phone.
You could write it on your desk, your very cool desk. You could write like directly on your desk.
I only have. Oh, yeah, I guess I could. Huh? No, wait. I have a pen.
There is so much to do out there, but I'm going to tell you, Whitney, 2 really great things to do out there. That Alcatraz East Museum is phenomenal, but so is the Titanic Museum. They do have Bundy's original bug. They do, and they also have OJ's Bronco and John Dillinger's car. We have never been to Canada, but we have strongly talked about it.
Yeah, we've talked about it a lot. I think it'd be fun.
I saw some rat looking thing come running from under the water and run away on land. What the fuck was that? It sounds like you need to move. Is what it sounds like. The fuck that is.
Maybe a platypus.
I don't know if are they in Australia? Are you in Australia? I don't know if they try to sell a Bronco or not, but yeah, like the actual OJ Bronco, like the one we all, if you're old enough, watched go down. All right, that's in Pigeon Forge. Both of those are in Pigeon Forge. Like I'm telling you guys, Pigeon Forge, Gatlinburg, Tennessee. There is something to do for every age, every financial level, every demographic. No matter how there is something. If you go to Pigeon Forge or Gatlinburg and can't find something you enjoy, you are the problem.
I've been going there since I was a baby. Like, we've just always went. You know what's funny is Justin had never been. I think you went with me like the first time. You were in your 20s. You're probably mid to late 20s. It was crazy. I don't know. It's just like
Because my mom never took us anywhere.
Yeah, we went like at least once a year because it was only 2 hours away.
We definitely want to come to New Zealand. That is a 1,000% on the list.
Oh yeah, for sure.
For $250,000, you can go to the Titanic crash site. For a tenth of that, I can go to Antarctica,
which would be fun.
Which would be more fun than me going in the water and be like, "Look, the Titanic sank here in the middle of the ocean." I've flown over. There was one time I don't know if you were on the flight with me. We were flying over to the UK, and the pilot was like, we're flying over where the Titanic sank right now. I'm like, oh, that's cool.
I think I was on that flight with you.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yes, we bought the third cabin, Doug. We bought it probably almost a year ago now.
Yeah. We highly recommend Ireland. We were actually supposed to go to Ireland right before the pandemic. Because we were going to, so for those of y'all who don't know, most of y'all probably do. Yeah, all that stuff's in Pigeon Forge. I own a DeLorean, which was built in Belfast, Northern Ireland, Dunmurry. And there was going to be this big thing at the old factory, like an event. And obviously Alyssa doesn't want to go to Ireland and sit at a DeLorean event for days. So that was never the intention. The intention was to go show up at the event, look at the old factory and the track and all that stuff, and then continue on our way throughout.
Yeah. One day back traveling. Traveling is my favorite thing. It makes me the happiest. Now that Victoria's getting a little bit older. Yeah. We'll start going cool places again.
Yeah, we were talking about it today, actually.
We've been to 12.
But I'll tell you, out of all the places that we've been, top tier is Hungary.
Loved Hungary. It's beautiful. I don't know. I've probably been to close to that. I don't know about 12. Probably 10.
I don't know how many I've been to, I think. I get a map for it, I'll tell you.
But yeah, if I had all the money in the world, I would just travel nonstop. That's what I do.
Yep.
Do we want more kids? That's a tough question to answer. Maybe, but probably not. Oh, that's cool. You almost ran into Charlie Sheen.
That is cool.
Funny. That's pretty cool. They take you down to see the Titanic? It's a lot of money, but that's really cool. Yeah, Scar, that's what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping once she turns 4, we're going to see a little bit of a shift and she'll start liking, more things.
Did we go through Slovakia?
Wait, do you have a map pulled up? I'm just looking at comments. Oh, I can't see it.
Yeah, no, we didn't. Because we went from Austria to Hungary. We did not go through Bratislava.
We're going to go to Bratislava, and we didn't because I think the train thing screwed us up.
Yeah, freaking train. I got yelled at by some mean Hungarian woman. It's the whole thing.
You got yelled at twice in Hungary.
Yeah, I'm like the Brian Koberger, like his driving skills, but with on trains apparently.
Oh my gosh, the Hungarian student. Okay, so and by like ethnicity, a huge chunk of my family is Hungarian, which is kind of
Ancestry.
funny because the Hungarians, man, they did not like Justin. Did not.
I did think that, Bunny Sue. I did think that it was $250,000 just to go to the site on top of the water. Uh, that's funny. But yes, I got yelled at.
Yeah.
You tried to give her an aspirin. That was funny.
I did try to give her an aspirin. She kept saying her head hurt, but you were the reason her head hurt.
Well,
Oh God.
you know what? I had to get off my beautiful, nice, super fast train in first class to ride this communist box of a train from the Iron Curtain days. So you know what? Yeah, I've driven in did I drive in England? I think I drove in England, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I drove in England. I've driven in wherever. Where was it? Jamaica or Bahamas?
Turks and
Turks and
Caicos,
Caicos. That was right hand drive. We rented that car.
where we rented that. I can't remember if that was the Caymans because
It,
I think
it, it was like a '93. Like I think we just took the dude's car. Like I think the rental car company was like his own personal car. It's like literally seriously like a '94 Toyota Corolla stick shift, and this was like 2010.
yeah, I think it was later than that because I think we were married. I think it was like 2015.
And can I drive a stick, Alyssa?
Yes.
Yeah, I can
You,
drive a stick. Huh?
I said you can drive stick.
Very well, as a matter of fact. It is one of my skill sets. I put it on my resume. Not really, but I do. Yes, I can drive stick shift. My DeLorean's a stick shift.
I drove manual in the UK.
Thanks, Karen. Thanks for stopping by and hanging out.
Um, where were we? Was you in Germany? Was the car we rented, was it manual?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's why I did most of the driving.
And you backed into a tree.
No, I slipped and rolled into a tree. It was icy, and remember, we refused to pay for the snow tires.
I was not involved in that conversation. That was a you and your mom and your brother
Because
situation.
they were like, okay, it costs as much to rent a car, but then you get there like you have to pay $300 more for snow tires. I'm like, fuck snow tires.
We really could have used the snow tires.
Yes, the DeLorean is a stick. We should have opt for the snow tires, guys.
We should have.
Anyways, but the car was fine.
Yeah.
I can shoot with my left hand. That would be fine. I think was the car that we drove in wherever in the islands, was that a stick shift?
I think so.
I think it was, yeah. I could do
I
it.
go to Scotland. I've not been.
We bought the 1-inch pieces of land in Scotland.
We
The
did.
1 foot pieces of land.
The little 1 foot square. I turned early, make it back to the ship and missed it. Ugh.
That sucks.
Are you in the UK, Doug?
So I never knew that.
I don't think you are, but
And for those of you who are leaving us because you're bored with our conversation from this point, if you don't follow, please consider doing it because normally we talk about murder.
yeah, we just kind of started. I don't know what got us talking about just random travel and things, but yeah.
In England, do they really drive on the opposite side of the road? Yes. Doug's in the US, he says.
Okay. I thought so, but I was like, well, maybe.
If I can do something
I
here.
tell them my crazy, I highly doubt, less than 1% chance Brian Walsh thought.
Which is that?
The one that he is, this is so, it's so bad. His internet searches are so bad that like this can't be real, right? So maybe again, guys, this is just I don't believe this, but it's just a thought that crept up in my head. So go with that. Maybe because it's just so dumb. Maybe she's gone girling herself. Maybe she's like, screw this guy, he sucks.
He
I'm
does
going to
suck.
plant all of this evidence, like really type in the dumbest searching you could ever do, and then get the hell out of here and go back to, where's it? Is she from Slovakia? Serbia. Go back to Serbia. Peace out. My mom will come get the kids later. Something like that. I don't know. Because it's just so bad.
Doug, I'm trying to look to add you as a mod again, and it is not finding you for whatever reason. So I will have to figure this out. I don't know how I got some people and not others.
That's
Or
weird.
maybe, huh?
It's weird.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to figure it out. Or maybe I have to approve them first.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. I might be able to do it.
Sharon, no way. It's totally just a thought. I do not believe it. I do not stand behind the
I'm
theory.
gonna do that, Doug. Sorry.
I just can't understand how anybody's as stupid as Brian Walsh. But she would have never left her kids. No, 100%.
No, I don't think so either.
Like, please do not think that I believe that. It's just a thought. No, I don't think her mother has came. It's really messed up.
Yeah, we were talking about that the other day, how like she was asking for her mother to come, and now she's missing. Well, now we know she's murdered, essentially. I mean, minus a body. Kids are in state custody at this point, state care, and the mom still, from at least that we know of, is not here.
And the good news, though, is the last I heard, they were not going to break up the boys.
Okay, well that is promising then.
So let's hope that stays. This guy, man. What an idiot.
Yeah. It is this guy, yeah. He is a problem. But he's going to jail forever.
He's in jail.
So, well, it is 1:15. Do you want to call it and try to watch a show before she comes and bothers us?
Before she wakes up and crawls in our bed?
Yes.
Yeah, I've got some cleanup and stuff to do anyway, so.
All right, guys. Well, it has been fun. I don't know. Am I doing anything tomorrow? I might not be on tomorrow unless something happens. We might get ready to go, and I might try to use the hot tub before we leave. I was going to do that tonight, but then I came on after, because everybody was asking about Olivia's thing, and then I was like, okay, well, I got to talk about this now. So,
yeah.
But yeah, anyways.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys. Thank you for the birthday wishes, Doug. I'm sure we'll be on between now and then. I really appreciate you guys chatting and having just some open conversation. And like Jack,
cool.
If you don't follow him, be sure to follow, especially on his YouTube. And then I am Alyssa on TikTok if you guys want to follow me there. I don't post very much, but I go live with Justin fairly often. So
yeah, she just wants 10,000 followers, guys. So
yeah,
like, just to have them. And what are you at now? I don't know what you're at.
I don't know, like 6,200 or something. I post like twice a month,
if that.
And
yeah. She said it was going to be her New Year's resolution to post more. Yet here we are, and she's not.
Here I am sucking at my New Year's resolution. I could still do it. There should be a prison for Bryans. Yeah, that'd be a messed up place.
Yeah, the worst. All the Bryans.
Bryans and Christophers.
Or Brian Christophers.
Brian Christophers. Yeah, they have a special section.
Like VIP. What happened with the doggo creators?
Baxter's page? Yeah. I don't know. I need to get on there
Yeah.
and see what's up. We're gonna do it. I'm gonna find the time. Find the time. All right.
We'll
Well,
see.
I guess.
All right. Yeah, everybody have a great night. We will talk to you guys soon. And thank you, Jen. I appreciate it. I'm sorry that they're all booked on the dates. I'm sorry about that. But yeah, keep checking though. I mean, they do come up. So
Yeah.
okay. So
Okay.
y'all have a great night, and we will see you guys soon.
Bye.
Bye.